Hello, and welcome to another episode of Big Brother After Snark. I am one half of your hosting combination. My name is KC, and once again, as usual, streaming live from our Rocky Mountain headquarters. Lacey, how are you?
Hello! Doing great.
Hello. What a week we have had in the Big Brother house. It's been crazy. What do you think of this week? What do you think of what's going on right now? I don't even know where to begin.
Well, you're beginning too late. So we haven't covered who got evicted and who came back.
We've covered nothing.
As all the fans know,
we last covered.
Mac is back.
Yes, Mac. Well, now you're getting way ahead of me. Mac is back, and of course that's exactly what we wanted. That's what we were hoping for. Johnny Mac is back in the house. Even if I still don't know how to do the soundboard, I'm not very good at it. I'm sorry I spoiled that for you, by the way, person who doesn't watch any of the shows live.
Yeah, thanks for... Is the music still going?
Don't get on Facebook. Yeah, it's right now it's at the spot where it's supposed to be when it started, so I can shut it off now.
We need to check Craigslist or Fiverr. We need to check Fiverr for a sound effects engineer.
You need more fiber. So yeah, Johnny Mac is back in the house. That was a very similar competition to when James came back in the house in Big Brother 9? 9, yes.
Yeah, you already talked about it, so I know it's 9.
Yes. That was very similar to the way it all played out and the competition afterwards, except James had it in him to hold on to the rope the longest and come back into the house and be the HOH. So that's what I would have loved to see.
Yeah, that was so close.
It was, and he could have stayed on there longer, but he knew he was safe. But no, very, very cool week. There's no eviction really to talk about.
Well, Johnny Mac told Vanessa that he could not stay on longer, that he was trying to stay on longer, and he fell, and that she actually won it.
He lied.
You always think that. You always think they can stay on longer.
Well, I mean, seriously, think about it. You know, there's a reason why the 4 people plus Johnny Mac were the last 5 on the rope. Because it's mental. You know?
It's mental.
It's all mental. It's just like John Madden said, 90% of the game is half mental. So, yeah, I think he could have stayed on longer, but I think he felt safe with Vanessa, and I'm sure he was hurting a lot. I'm sure it was a painful competition. I can't even speak today. But yeah, I think he could have stayed on longer. He felt good about it, and he went down. I would have liked to have seen him be the HOH, but that's okay. I'm not going to nitpick here. So, very happy with how it turned out.
The live feeders were saying that it only lasted 10 minutes. The competition only lasted about 10 minutes. No, and they said that a lot of the people got out because they didn't understand that they had to have both feet on the pedestal, and they would start to try to sit on it, and then they would get disqualified. That's what the live feeders were all saying, but then when I watched the show, it didn't look like that at all, so I'm kind of confused on that.
Yeah, that's what happened with Jackie for sure, and I don't even know if it was because she didn't understand the rules, but it wasn't just 10 minutes. We watched 10 minutes of the competition on CBS during the live show. It was closer to an hour, I believe. Maybe a little less than an hour.
It was? Okay.
Yeah.
Because everybody was saying it was really... They were saying that if it had stayed on the show just a few more minutes, we would have seen the...
Well, now results. I will say this. Maybe it just took that long to get to Twitter, but I was sitting there just refreshing the heck out of Twitter, and I I don't think there was like 4 people down when the show ended, but I mean it wasn't less than 10 minutes. We watched 10 minutes of that competition on CBS, at least. I think
So,
more like 15.
Were you
We's.
were you surprised by how when the jury members would come off, they would just kind of like hop off and be like, bye, bye guys, like.
Yeah,
it
was
seemed
odd.
like they were fighting like you would have been fighting when your entire game is absolutely on the line. It seems like they would have been bloody and puking before they would come off that thing. And they're just like, I can't do this anymore. See ya.
Well, if you look at who the jurors were, I mean, you had Jackie, who's already been around the reality show circuit. She's already won her prizes. She just, I don't think she cared as much as the others. Shelley didn't have Clay to come back in the house for, and would have been target number 1 if she had come in. I think she realized that. Becky was more surprising to me than the other 2 that fell, and it did.
I was surprised by Becky and Shelley because they both, watching their exit interviews, like with Jeff the following day, they were both very much, their whole focus was, I want to get back in that game. They both seemed to have a lot of fight in them, so I was surprised by both of them.
Yeah. I don't know. I expected Johnny Mac to make it a close one. I expected I expected Becky to make it close, and I'm kind of surprised that Johnny Mac outlasted Becky, actually. I thought that was a competition that was geared a lot more towards her, maybe towards her and Shelley both. That's why they play the game, right? So going
back to what you had said on our last episode, talking about the whole getting evicted and coming back in would not affect your chances of getting the votes in the end. Of all the people that come back, obviously Johnny Mac, that would be the truest of, because he didn't even go to the jury house. It was just like a little reset. Like he walked in the backyard and he walked back in the house. So like what you were saying in the last episode, I totally agree that that's not going to affect his chances of winning if he makes it to the final 2 at all.
I agree. Here's where, and again, I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself. Here was the first thing I thought when I saw that Vanessa won the HOH. Who do you think is going home in the double eviction? Second. Vanessa.
Well, it completely depends on.
Of course, it depends on who wins, but I think that most of the people in there would put Vanessa out the door. Like, other than Johnny, I think everybody in there would send Vanessa packing. I think Johnny's the only one.
Well, but here's the thing. We have to get into the nominees this week because I think there's actually a lot of different scenarios for depending on who wins HOH. So Vanessa won HOH. I was really disappointed, as I'm sure were you. But blessedly, Johnny Mac had played a really good game the preceding week and made really good solid points with Vanessa and was very honest with Vanessa. Yes. We know how she values honesty in everyone but herself.
Right.
And so he had himself primed for when she won, and everyone else in the house, everyone else on her side of the house was saying, okay, this is easy, Johnny Mac goes back out. And she's thinking, no, Johnny Mac is at least my backup plan at this point.
Right.
And so she puts up Megan James, goes out to the Goblin side of the house. And with Megan James on the block, okay, we need to talk about veto.
All right, let's talk veto. Nobody has yet seen the veto competition, by the way, but we know who won the veto.
Yep.
My boy.
Your boy James.
James won the veto. Where's that sound clip again? No, I'm not even gonna try.
It was best case scenario for viewers that James would win veto.
Yep.
And James won veto.
Yep.
So, beautiful. Now, who's Vanessa going to put up next to Meg? Now, we've got Meg, the perennial pawn, sitting on the block.
Right.
Vanessa's target is Meg. Really has been the whole time. She sees Meg as a huge threat to her game. Not sure I completely understand it. However, I have seen some good points out there where you're getting so close to the end. You have someone like Meg sitting in the house. If someone is targeting you, they have a sure pawn to set next to you.
Yep.
And you're a big player, and you're sitting next to Meg, you're going home.
Right.
Get that pawn out, and now you have room to play. You have wiggle room no matter who goes up on a block.
Yep, she has a legitimate case for anybody else in the house needing to leave instead of her.
Right, yep. So, I mean, Vanessa, I do not like her personality whatsoever, and I do not like this hideous emotional bullying game she plays.
Yeah.
But she has all along had a very good understanding, grasp of the game and how the game should be played, regardless of how good her execution has or hasn't been.
Right.
So yeah, Meg target not entirely bizarre for Vanessa, but now with James having one veto and taking himself off the block.
Right.
I could not even believe it when she was planning to do this. I was scared to let myself hope it was actually going to happen.
I was shocked.
And then today, they had the ceremony, and
Julia is the replacement nom. I couldn't believe it.
Now, the way it stands in the house, there hasn't yet been a peep of anyone even whispering, let's flip the house and vote Julia out.
Right.
Even Steve and Johnny Mac's conversations, just the two of them, has been, well, we gotta do what Vanessa wants, so we're gonna vote Meg out. No clue why they're thinking that.
Right.
It's so painfully obvious that they need to flip the house and vote Julia out.
I know.
That I just can't imagine that not happening.
I can, because dumber things have happened on Big Brother, but I'm hoping that
I can't handle it. I can't.
It's bad. It's bad.
If they will... Okay, best case scenario. How beautiful would this be? The three guys flip the house. So the only people voting are Austin, Liz, Steve, Johnny Mac, and James. Right. So they have the numbers easy peasy. There's not even any convincing to be done. Keep it a secret. So Johnny Mac and Steve decide this, that they're going to flip. They tell James last minute.
This is all hypothetical. You're saying this is what should happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what should happen. This is my dream. They tell, let's say they're like just getting ready to start filming, to start taping on Thursday night. They whisper to James real quick, vote to keep Meg, we're keeping Meg. So there's no chance that this leaks out. And then they completely blindside the Ostwits and Vanessa.
Yep.
Julia's out of there. Liz already said she will self-evict Julia gets
Oh, she did? I didn't catch that.
Which I don't think...
No, she won't.
And it's kind of funny. Well, I wouldn't think she would either, but if you blindsided her like that, I would have like a little shred of hope that she would just get up and walk out with her. I think Austin would physically grab her and hold her in, but that would be... But Kevin, I'm so... Okay, if they vote Meg out, I will end my Big Brother life.
Oh,
no more
stop
Big Brother
it.
None.
Stop it.
No more Big Brother.
Stop it. Come on now.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think they're probably going to vote out Meg.
What do you think?
I think they're going to probably vote out Meg. I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, do you not think that's what's going to happen? You really think your scenario is going to play out?
Why? But why would they vote out Meg?
Because they're scared of Vanessa. Because they're scared of Austin and Liz still being in the house after Julia leaves. And you've got those three people that they would be scared of. Now, if they think about that really good and long and hard and realize Vanessa's not playing in the next HOH and one of the rest of us is most likely to win, and we could put Austin or Liz out or Vanessa out, which would be hilarious. Yeah, that would be perfect, but that would also take a lot of brains and.
Well, okay. We only have to worry about two people. Johnny Mac and Steve, okay? Because we already know we have James to get Julia out. So we already know that Johnny Mac is not scared of Vanessa.
He's not scared of Vanessa, but I think he's pretty in the hole for as far as wanting to play with her at this point.
He is, and so for that reason, I could see it being a less likely possibility that they would make this a blind side. But one potential I could see is Johnny Mac and Steve going to Vanessa and asking permission to flip. And I could see Vanessa agreeing to that.
Maybe.
But insisting that they keep it a secret. Now, the only thing about that is I think Vanessa really wants to take Julia to Final 2. So that's an issue. But the fact is they have the numbers and she cannot control them. So the only person who's actually afraid of Vanessa that we have to worry about is Steve. That's the issue. Like, I could totally see something happening where Johnny Mac tells Steve he wants to flip the house, and Steve just runs and tells Vanessa, and then it's just a huge explosion. Yeah. And then Johnny Mac goes on the double eviction when Liz wins HOH.
I can easily see that happening. There's way too much fear in that house surrounding Vanessa and surrounding Austin and his twins, and that I just don't think they're gonna risk angering them.
There's a lot of time between now and Thursday. And another thing is the diary room, what I've heard pretty consistently is while they don't give suggestions and they don't ask leading questions even, I've heard, what they do is they always ask them questions to talk out every possible scenario.
Right.
To talk through every possible. So they will be getting that also. They'll be talking it out to themselves in diary room. And when you talk it out to yourself, how can you not see when you're Steve or Johnny Mac that you could just rule this game? By Friday morning, they could be the kings of the Big Brother house.
Yeah, you're right. And they could take it all the way to Final 2.
Easily. Yeah. That would be so fun.
It would be fun. It wouldn't be as good. Are you talking about Johnny Mac and Steve or Johnny Mac and James?
I was talking about Johnny Mac and Steve, but that would be fun too.
Johnny Mac and James would be more fun for me, but yeah, I think the more likely scenario would be Johnny Mac and Steve. James has more enemies than Steve does, for sure. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, if either Vanessa or the twins, one of the twins, hasn't gone home by the end of the double eviction, I'm going to be really upset. Like, there's no reason for that.
It's so crazy. So now that we've seen the twins together in the house for a while, what is our assessment of the twins? Do you ever watch Rob Sesternino's podcast?
No.
Okay. He had Jason on, the earlier evictee Jason.
Jason. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, Jason? Yeah, okay, Jason.
Yeah. Remember Jason?
Yep.
Pit stains.
See, I would have had it right off the bat if you'd called him that.
Sorry. Which, by the way, it's worth watching. I laughed out loud several times, and if I'm watching something by myself, I don't laugh out loud. It was pretty funny. He was highly entertaining. He was far more entertaining than he was in the house. I think he's a good example of a huge waste of potential in Big Brother.
Right.
House guest. But anyway, one of his funny moments was they were talking about the twins and, his perception of the twins, having lived with them. And he said that Liz is the smart one, but that is like saying that the rock is smarter than the stack of hay.
Nice. So is that
and something I think is interesting about...
Sorry. I was just going to say, is that kind of like how Johnny Mac came back into the house, and I think it was Julia, I don't think it was Liz, but Julia was sitting in the diary room saying, and he's walking around like he's mad at us when he has no reason to be. And we're like, yeah, voted him out.
They're really bratty. And also, remember Liz last week confronting Johnny Mac about why he would have told Vanessa they had plans to get her out. When he's sitting on the block trying to save himself.
You put me on the block! I just say whatever the hell I want!
Yeah. Yeah. awesome. That was a classic Johnny Mac moment.
Yeah.
So they're very bratty and entitled and princessy. They just think, everyone should do it. Like, and also when Steve was arguing not wanting to be a pawn, just shut the F up and get on the block. It's like, what? What world are you living in?
Yep.
Something I find very interesting about their dynamic is it seems like Julia is more, in the two of them, in their relationship, she's the authoritative one. Like, she's always upbraiding Liz about her relationship with Austin on the cameras, and Liz seems to kind of bow to her when she's doing that.
Yeah.
And also, Julia, I think, has a little more sense about not wanting to appear like not to be rude, a slut or anything.
Right.
But at the same time, I think she is the dumber one. She can't win any competitions, and there's plenty of dumb quotes from her, really from both of them, floating around.
Yeah. Yeah, she may or may not be the dumber one, but, yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on whether or not I like either one of them, and I think ultimately I don't like either one of them, but I try to decide if maybe there's one of them that there's redeeming qualities to, and I just can't. I think I'm just done with them both.
I, for sure, on a personal level, don't like either one of them.
Yeah.
But from an entertainment standpoint, I love having them in the house together, and we haven't had as many scenes of the two of them interacting recently, which I'm sad about, because I love them. In fact, I've looked it up on YouTube just to watch them interact, because they're so funny together.
Yeah.
So I'll be sad to see one of them go and lose that dynamic, but on a personal level, no.
Yeah.
Not liking them.
Not the greatest thing Big Brother's ever had to offer. So, I mean, before we move on to what's going to happen on Thursday, was there anything else you wanted to cover as far as what's happened, like, this week?
Well, Vanessa is a lunatic. I mean, she is a bully.
Yes.
She's delusional.
Yes.
It's really not.
She's a fantastic Big Brother player, though.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I think she's very good at what she's doing.
I would call her, personally, from my opinion, I would call her a good Big Brother player. As time goes on, I don't think she's as good as I once thought she was, because she's very emotional, and she has no control over her emotions.
Right. That is definitely one of her biggest downfalls.
Well, for downfalls in the Big Brother house, that is one of the larger downfalls to have.
But she has thus far overcome that massive downfall, therefore, in my opinion, making her that much of a better player.
Yeah, she's still in the house, so there's not too much to criticize as long as she's still in the house, but I think that she's going to go, and I think that when she goes, it will be because of that, and that she could have masterfully wound her way through the whole game, a la Derek, really. Even better, though, because there's way savvier people in the house this year.
Yeah, way better. She's way better than Derek. I agree. I think that is going to lead to her demise, but even still, as far as she's made it with the things that she's been able to get away with, I think she's one of the might be the best game player this season. Not a whole lot of competition in that realm, but definitely very good. I would put James probably close to her gameplay. His social game is just phenomenal.
They're so opposite in that way, because her manipulating the game pieces on the board is good, and James does basically none of that, and he's all social. I mean, combine the two of them and you have the ultimate Big Brother. She has no social game, and they've even complained about that among themselves, that all she will talk about is games. She won't have a personal conversation. Huge problem.
Yeah. But no, I do. Game player, she's probably the best there is, and yeah, like you said, I agree. She's going to be out the door. She's not going to be in the final two for sure. She's the biggest target in the house, and everybody knows it. And once you've attained that status, the first veto you lose, you're gone. So. Well,
okay. If Meg goes, let's say Meg goes Thursday night, I'm gonna put Ostwitz at least tied with her as biggest target, if not ahead of her.
Possibly.
If James win HOH, I think he puts up Austin and Vanessa.
What if Austin wins
and
HOH?
I think
What if
if
Liz
Austin
wins
HOH, he puts up Johnny Mac. He's not going to put up Vanessa.
Yeah, he
He's
will.
scared of Vanessa.
That's why he's going to want her out of the house.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's been waiting for he's even said that. He's just waiting for the numbers to get smaller to get rid of her. And he'll have both the twins.
But he said that because he was too scared to do it. He was just HOH last week.
If he's HOH, he's got both of the twins' votes. He puts Vanessa on the block next to, who would it have to be? James? And then he just has to tell the twins who to vote out.
Austin had the votes to get Vanessa out when he was HOH last week, and he couldn't do it.
He will now, though.
Well, see,
that's if he's
Austin,
HOH. I'm not convinced he's going to
Steve.
even win anything, you know.
Or Johnny Mac and James.
But I could see Liz winning HOH. I could see Julia winning HOH. Any of those three wins HOH, I think Vanessa ought to be scared at this point with the numbers that are left.
Oh, Julia. Okay, the twins, that's the thing. Do you know, I mean, Vanessa is golden with the twins. For sure. Julia especially, Vanessa would be her ride or die. After Liz, it's Vanessa. It's Vanessa all the way. Julia and Vanessa are like this, and Liz is not far behind. They love her, and they have all along. Even back when they were doing the switches, they'd be in the diary room and they'd be like, "Oh, I love Vanessa. I love Vanessa." No, the twins are not. The twins would go after J-Mac and James and Steve. Any of those before they'd go after Vanessa.
Yeah, you may be right. You may be right. I don't know. Maybe I'm more wishful
But
thinking.
Austin, he's still. Yeah, I think Austin's still embarrassed about having to grovel and cry and, "Oh, please, no, Vanessa, no." When he found out Vanessa was backdooring him, I think he's still a little embarrassed about that.
I still can't believe it worked.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. So Thursday night's coming up. You got any bold predictions? I'm not gonna even try to drag in the cow or the bank.
I predict that they are going to evict Julia.
Oh boy.
If they do, oh my goodness.
I hope you're right.
And I hope it's a surprise.
It would be a Christmas surprise. I think you're wrong.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
No turkey. No good things. I think you're wrong. I think Meg's gonna go. I don't want it to be that way, but I think that's what's gonna happen. So that's my prediction.
Oh
my bold prediction.
Oh my goodness!
I'm begging the Big Brother house to prove me wrong.
How can you like Johnny Mac if you think he's that much of a stupid head?
Maybe he just talks stupid. I don't know.
And how much more... Okay, this is an aspect of Johnny Mac's game I wanted to discuss. You know how generally pretty much everyone lies to some extent. Some people are just like, I'm just going to lie about everything to everyone, the game, myself, blah, blah, blah. Other people are more, you can tell that they're not liars in real life, and they'll just tell like the occasional necessary lie in the game. And then there'll be every once in a while there'll be an annoying player, like I think BB11 Natalie sticks out in my mind, that makes a huge deal about, I'm keeping to my word, I'm sticking to my word. Well, Vanessa too, for that matter. I'm all about integrity and sticking to my word.
Right.
I've never seen a player like Johnny Mac who just is flat out honest about everything.
Yep.
I don't think he's told a single lie.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Are you doing this? Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing it. And at the same time, he's not making mention of that. He's not saying in the diary room, I'm playing an honest game. I'm sticking to my word.
Right.
None of that. It's very unique.
That's a very good point. I hadn't thought about it in those terms. I think I'd realized all that, but I hadn't really placed all those pieces together. And yeah, you're right. It's a very unique way that he's playing the game, and so far it's sort of working. He had to be brought back into the house once, but we'll see. We'll see how far it gets him. But it's an interesting way to think about the best way to play Big Brother, for sure.
I feel like now that they're about to enter the end phase of the game, he could really, if he does decide to start referencing that and talking to people, he could really go far with it. Because, I mean, I still haven't heard him point it out in the diary room or in the house. But, you know, in discussing things with people, saying, look, I've never lied. I've never lied to you. I've never lied to anybody in this game. You know, I've been straight up this whole time. Because that, when you get down to that end game, it really starts to matter to people if they can trust you or not. So I hope he uses that.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. He could be in a really great position if he can get all his cards together and vote Julia out. Then he could run the house. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
We are running short on time here.
Okay.
As well as I have to go to work. So,
okay.
Everybody watching, make sure to find us on YouTube, Big Brother After Snark. We're also on Facebook. If you want to talk to us on Twitter, hashtag #BBAfterSnark. Am I forgetting anything? Download our videos.
I don't think so.
Like our videos, watch our videos, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, do all that. And I think if Julia goes on Thursday night, we should have some kind of a special little post for the viewers. We'll think of a little gift.
I agree. Little impromptu vid.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're good here. You good?
We're good.
Thank you for watching, everybody.
Bye-bye.